Hey, welcome in to the Mystery Fifth Hour presented by McCurry Van and Car Rental. Rockstar's not here, so I'm going to need you to point at the logo on the screen. There you go. McCurry Van and Car Rental. If you need the car, van, or truck, you rent from McCurry Van and Car Rental, the local rental company that you can depend on. They got all the vehicles to choose from, the trucks, SUVs, passenger vans. They make it easy to rent, help you get in and out fast. Locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, and Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. Call and reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. That's 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. Jim Dunaway.
Can I just say, if you missed our last Mystery Fifth Hour, you can go back and watch them. They're never dated. But great response about Big Earl.
Yeah, he was fun.
Yeah, he was. Funny guy.
If you missed that one, go back and catch it here on our Mystery Fifth Hour.
And as always, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you've set your alerts on YouTube. You've subscribed to our YouTube channel. We thank all of you. It grows every single day. Every single day we see growth in the YouTube channel. We appreciate you guys doing that. Make sure you subscribe, set your alerts, and give us a thumbs up on this. He is Jim Dunaway. He is Lance Taylor. I am Ryan Brown. And Lance Taylor is going to get us started.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the perfect topic for Dunaway here. But what is the most overhyped thing you have ever experienced? And we're going to start with you.
We'll start with me. Oh, there's been so many, LT. I mean, you've got Super Bowls, a lot of big games.
Not that you've been to one. You're just saying the game was overhyped.
Yeah, I'm just saying
on TV
you get excited about the Super Bowl and big games. But for me, I'll go back to the 90s, my single days. Cracked Rear View and Hootie and the Blowfish was a great album. And we all waited for that second Hootie and the Blowfish
Well,
album.
we all didn't wait. I thought the first one sucked.
I waited. I had my Birkenstocks and my cut-off jean shorts, and I was ready to go on tour with Hootie and the Blowfish.
Did you wear one of those gaucho pullovers? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
How did you not get married until you were 40?
I know. So you owned
early 30s.
You owned a gaucho hoodie?
I did have a gaucho hoodie.
Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't believe you
Sort
wore
of made with hemp.
Yeah, I think they were. Well, I don't know if they were made with hemp or only stoners wore them, but or maybe both.
You can find them at the Horde Festival or in the state of New Mexico.
Yeah.
I just always figured that if I was in a jam, I could just roll it and smoke it.
Yeah, I think you could. Yep, I think that was the appeal to them.
But Fairweather Johnson, that second album, you talk about a dud. A lot of hype. It laid flat. It was not very good. That's one. I mean, there's been a ton in my life.
Well, here's what we could do. I can do one. We can go back to Dunaway. You can do one. Go back to Dunaway because you'll have a lot. Mine is the Pacific Ocean.
Shut up.
Oh, the Pacific Ocean's filthy. It's filthy cold water. The beach is...
It's a good call. They make it look so good.
They do.
Back when I was a kid, when I was watching like Baywatch, I was like, that shit looks legit.
I know.
Are you kidding me? It's the best ocean.
Oh, Dunaway, the Gulf of Mexico is not an ocean, but the Gulf is the best.
Well, that's the Gulf, first off.
The Atlantic and the Pacific are awful. They're awful oceans.
Those are oceans. I mean, yeah, but the Gulf is a Gulf. It's not going to be the same. White sandy beaches, but when it comes to the rock formations, crashing on the rocks.
No, I like that
mountain,
part of it.
Well, that's part of it.
But I'm talking about like the beaches in LA and San Diego.
Looks nothing like it looks like on TV.
That's right. They glorify it so much on.
It is true.
The beaches are filthy.
I'll die on this hill. No, the Pacific Ocean is the best ocean.
Negative.
Wrong.
No, the water.
The Indian Ocean.
You've never
Not that
been.
I've ever been there.
You've never been. But to have the mountains drop right off into the
that's
into
beautiful,
the ocean,
but that's the mountain.
Yeah, and there's no visibility.
the wells off the coast. I mean, come on.
No,
First of all, it's freezing cold.
the water's awful.
The beach is a mile wide.
And
so
filthy.
It takes forever to get there.
Bunch of
it's
rocks and
rocky,
filthy,
dirty.
I mean, we're super spoiled. Like, I grew up going down to the Gulf. I never realized how good the beaches are in Alabama, the Florida Panhandle.
Best beaches in the world.
Yeah, I mean, literally, we all have a mutual friend that is a very worldly guy. He grew up in Israel. He's traveled all over. And he told me, he's like, I have seen all the good ones. And the Gulf of Mexico, he said there might be one better. I think he said the Black Sea had amazing beaches. But he's like, that's the only place that has better beaches in the world, maybe, is the Black Sea.
I know technically it's a little bit of an inlet, but Pebble Beach,
Beautiful.
It doesn't look the same anywhere else in the world than it does at Pebble Beach.
But you could have any water there. The beauty in Pebble Beach are the rocks on the water. And the way, I'm just telling you, Lance agrees, and Lance is an LA guy, man.
But just because it's 2-1 here doesn't mean it's right.
No, this is not a debate show.
Y'all-
This is not
y'all
first
could-
take.
Y'all could be the majority and be totally wrong.
No, I think everybody would agree with us.
Okay, hit us up and let us
If
know
you've
if you
been
agree
to
with
the
these
Pacific
guys.
Ocean.
Yeah, it's magical. It's where dreams happen.
Lance is right. They make it look magical on TV, but it is not. Now, I've never been to the South Pacific. Have you been to the South Pacific?
No,
I don't guess so.
I have not. Well, you know what? I've been to the Sea of Cortez, but I didn't even get in. The currents were so strong, and the waves were like, 20 feet tall.
Bigger waves. There's another example.
Well, I'm not a surfer, though.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily make it great.
Yeah.
In Hawaii, what ocean is around Hawaii? Answer.
Well, that's the Pacific.
It is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, the Atlantic is worse, but nobody had ever built the Atlantic up to me. I kind of thought it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, we used to go to Hilton Head a lot on vacation, and the beaches there are awful. The golf there is amazing, but the beaches are just.
I agree.
The Atlantic and the Atlantic Ocean is like brown. It's
Yeah.
terrible water.
I mean, you're going to complain about the Atlantic too, but it was good enough for our fathers to go fight off Nazi Germany on the Atlantic. We landed.
That
on
is true, Jim.
What are you
You're
going to
right.
tell us?
The beaches.
Right.
Lake Michigan is a good body of water now?
It is a great lake,
It
according to Jim.
is a great
All right,
lake.
Jim, give us another one.
Well,
and then we'll go-
I'll give you one first.
Oh,
Okay,
well,
go
I
ahead.
figured he had so many. We were going to pepper these
Well,
around.
Graceland. We've talked about Graceland many times.
Yeah.
Overhyped, overhyped.
But you went into it thinking it was going to be amazing?
I'm not a big Elvis fan, but I thought it'd be better than it was. It was
I thought it
small.
was great. I thought it was fascinating.
It's so small.
I think what does size have to do with it?
Well, I'd be disappointed if that was my kitchen at the house. I'd be like, well, what a shitty kitchen.
Well, the guy died on the shitter in the mid-'70s,
Yeah,
so
I know.
it's been almost 50 years
Is
ago.
the kitchen smaller than this room we're in? This is our
Oh,
lobby.
yes.
Yeah.
Are you
Really?
kidding me?
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, I would have thought Elvis would have a bigger
I
kitchen.
mean,
He
other
liked to
than-
eat.
I think other than the racquetball court,
Yeah.
there's not a room bigger than this.
I mean,
Really?
this is the size of the, what was it, the jungle
jungle
room?
room?
This is the size of it.
It was, to me, it was more fascinating, the history behind some of the things. It wasn't necessarily Graceland. I guess some of the things that took place there, but just how big of a star Elvis was.
Yeah.
And, there's one, you go in his garage and he's got all these cars, and there's this one car that was specifically being built for Frank Sinatra. And Elvis came on and said, I want that car. And they sold it out from under Frank Sinatra after he custom did it.
That's pretty big
That's pretty
right there.
big.
I mean,
So that
Sinatra-
did show me he was like the ultimate pimp back in the day.
And by the way, that would piss Wimp off because Wimp's a big Frank Sinatra guy that would do that. I agree with you. I enjoyed the fascinating aspects of it all, but like the jungle room, was that the most overhyped room in the history?
I mean, it was unique. I didn't have a huge expectation from Graceland itself.
How big were the TVs in the jungle
Oh,
room?
well, yeah,
They're like 32s.
I
aren't
mean,
they?
I wasn't going to even go technology.
No,
but they
I
were-
know, but I'm saying
Yeah.
it's funny now because he had the 3 TVs lined up, which back then, I mean, that was
big time.
That was big time. But they're those big box
ABC,
TVs.
NBC, CBS
Yeah.
for the networks.
Yeah, you only had 3 things on at a time. You could literally watch everything that was
So
on.
I'm shocked. We're already disagreeing. You like the Pacific. I don't like the Pacific.
Yep.
You haven't been to Graceland, right?
I don't even think I've driven past Graceland.
Well, I've tried my best to stay out of Memphis as much as I possibly can. But if I go back, I think I would go back to Graceland. But for me, believe it or not, it was the Kentucky Derby.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
would
mean-
have thought.
I'll tell you this, I had fun.
Were you infield?
I was infield,
Okay.
so that is one thing. So I didn't dress up.
Right.
But it was muddy. It was so crowded, and it's a much smaller venue than you could imagine.
Oh, yeah.
I know several people that go every year. I mean, every single year.
Here's another thing, and this was right before Uber, so cabs were impossible to get.
Well, basically, it's 250,000 people around a
Yeah.
2-mile track.
Hotels were impossible to get. Getting bar to bar was impossible. The mint juleps were overrated.
Well, the mint julep is a bad drink. It is absolutely
It
overrated.
is, but when
I
you're
agree.
in Rome,
That's right.
typically.
Yeah.
That's right. I did that.
Yeah.
But
And I'll say this, my only race I played was Barbaro. You guys remember when Barbaro won.
Yeah.
I randomly had Barbaro.
No,
Again,
they
it was-
didn't put him down on the track, right? He died later.
Well, that wasn't the Kentucky Derby. That wasn't. It was the Preakness or Belmont, whatever's.
But they
the
put
one
him
right
down
up
on the track at that one?
No, I think they actually they drug him off and
Oh.
yeah.
made him work a couple of times before.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But
it is
I-
valuable.
No, it's not as it looks better on TV than be there. I'll give you that. I've
No
been there.
doubt. And I
Been there
would
too.
go back if I sat in the bleachers.
Now they have recently expanded it. Like the Twin Spires get swallowed up by the new expansion. So have you been since it
They
was
keep
this
stacking
pre-expansion?
up suites and suites.
Yeah, because I rode by there several years ago. I'd never been out there, and it's just right off the interstate. So I just pulled off and went out there and looked at it, and it was pretty impressive, to be honest with you.
But everything is overhyped.
But I've never been to the race.
when it's only 2 minutes long. I mean, there's a lot of buildup for something that goes like that. So,
Well.
I mean, it's the fastest 2 minute in sports. It goes really quick. But the whole week buildup in Louisville is fun. If you're up there for an extended period of time, in my single days, I met a girl on the back stretch one day. Then she invited me to one of the parties on the Thursday before the race. We went, had mint juleps, got a carriage ride outside around downtown Louisville. The carriage ride was going so well, we made it back. I said, let's do it again, buddy. And spent a few $100s on carriage rides.
It's a hopeless
If it was
romantic.
going that well, why didn't you take it to the house? Was that Batman?
Oh, it was not Batman, but eventually we did go back to her hotel room, which is the only time I've ever spent a night in a microtel.
Okay, interesting fact.
Yeah.
I'm
Have
not
you ever
gonna-
stayed in a microtel?
No, but I'm not going to make a I'm not going to make a
I don't
micro
know.
joke here.
I don't
I'm going to
know.
be more mature than that, Jim.
But the reason she stayed there is because she had a pet dog.
Oh, so it's animal friendly.
It was animal
You
friendly.
take Lady
before
Bird to a micro.
Wait, so was she on the
the circuit.
no, what the hell were you just on riding around? The carriage.
The carriage.
Oh yeah, it was her.
The dog was on the
No,
carriage?
the dog was back at the microtel. She left it in the room.
So did you get 2 queens or 1 king?
It was her room. She was staying there all week. She was a horse trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she
Did
had
she
been,
have one in the Derby?
She had been shipped in. She rode the horses that escorted the good horse.
The Outrider?
Yeah.
They call that the
She was the
Outrider.
Outrider.
So the horse
Yes, she
trainer,
was.
did she have a king or 2 queens?
She had one king.
Or
Yes.
2 doubles? So where'd the dog sleep?
On the bed. The dog was on the bed for everything.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
German Shepherd.
Wow,
wow.
that's a big dog.
And intimidating.
Yeah,
I
I
bet.
bet. Thing bites your sack, man. You got
Yeah.
issues.
You think? You think I'd be bad?
Yeah.
Hey, so how many races did they do? Like 8 races that day, right?
7 or 8.
So,
And
but
I went
the
for-
races go real quick. So
I went
you-
for the Oaks on Friday. So
Yeah.
they run the Oaks and then they have bands. Everclear played the day we were there
Oh,
on Friday.
wow.
And then Saturday,
Santa
I think-
Monica?
I think it's like,
God, great
8,
song.
8 races, I think.
I remember when we visited Santa Monica, the Uber driver played Santa Monica as we were pulling in. I remember that.
Well played by him.
Yeah, it was.
I'll tell you another thing that's overhyped.
The pier in Santa Monica is overhyped. Now that you
Well,
bring
it's
it
just
up.
too crowded and it's got a interesting element.
And I wouldn't ride any of those rides there.
Oh, I don't think I would.
I thought prom was overrated. Like
Prom?
when you grow up and you see all these movies and TV shows, and prom is like, it's supposed to be this monumental time in life. And I went with 2 of my best friends and my girlfriend then and their girlfriends, and we did the tuxes and the limo and went out to dinner, and we had the limo full of alcohol, and we had a hotel later. And I mean, we had a great party, but like we went to the prom for like 15 minutes, and I don't know.
So my prom experience is way different than you guys because y'all grew up over here. I grew up in Anniston. We did not have anywhere to eat in Anniston for something like that. So our prom was early in the day. Like I think it would probably start at like 4 or 5 o'clock, and we'd stay there until maybe 5:30, and then we'd drive to Birmingham to eat.
So y'all would do basically a matinee prom, so
Yep.
you could go out and eat in Birmingham?
Yep. Well, there's nowhere to eat in Anniston.
But why
at that
wouldn't you
time.
do the matinee dinner in Birmingham and then do the prom after?
I don't know why. I don't know. I can't answer that question. But
You know what you had? You had a Pac-12 TV deal.
we may have.
You had to play your games at weird times.
My wife, who was prom queen her senior year, and I was at the prom, even though I was a freshman in college, I came back and went to the prom with her because we were dating at the time.
You guys were East Alabama power couple.
She was the prom queen, and
You were Mr. Echo.
I was Mr. Echoes. There was a so at her senior prom, the police. You mentioned having alcohol in the limo. The police were cracking down on limo drivers operating without a business license.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Bad night to do that.
So they were waiting at the hotel where we had the prom. I can't remember the name. The Downtowner, I think, was the name of the hotel. in
Not a
Anniston.
microtel.
Not a microtel. And they were waiting as the limos pulled up to see their business license. Guess what they found in some of the limos with minors on board?
A lot of
A
alcohol.
lot of alcohol. How do you think that went?
It went bad for the limo driver. Technically, the only one that was legal in the car.
And the kids who they hauled in. So all these kids are in their prom dress and tux down at the Anniston jail, having to call their parents.
Yeah, what do you do if you're a limo driver, though? Because it's not like you can vet the limo driver before. Like, we paid all this money for a limo driver. We had all this liquor. If he would have gotten there and said,
Did you
"Not
bring the
gonna
liquor?
happen." Yeah.
See, I don't know if they provided it or surely the kids had to bring it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way they provided it.
Yeah, but he knew about it, right? Yeah,
Well,
but he or she.
you know, if I'm the limo driver, I think I could play dumb. And, like, we would have covered for him.
I didn't know they had it. Yeah.
Oh, but that's pretty cool that you guys were able to, those guys were able to go down there and get free prom pictures just with the mugshots.
Why are you holding a sign with numbers on it, Mom?
I mean, you would want.
In your
That's one
property.
thing I've never seen is somebody in a tux and a mugshot.
I don't know that they mugged them up. I think they just took them down and scared the hell out of them.
Yeah,
and
that's
called
it.
Mom and Dad.
So when I got, we ran across the law a couple of times in high school, and you would never get the mugshot. It was they would detain you. They would call your parents. Your parents would come down, bitch
Yeah,
at
I
you,
think that's
ground
pretty
you.
much
I
what
didn't, I
happened.
didn't get fingerprinted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and look, this is a long-running discussion on the show. Things that are overrated. McCurry Van Car Rental's not overrated at all. They bring you the mystery fifth hour. In and out, and we're going to disagree on this. Swearland's going to disagree. I've never said it was awful. It was just built up like I was going to take a bite out of it and think, okay, in heaven, this is what the cheeseburger is going to taste like.
right.
And I took a bite, and it's a good cheeseburger, but it didn't blow me away.
No, I too have downplayed In-N-Out a lot too. Every time I'm around one, I eat there just for the experience.
I would go back, and I did. I went back a second time just to see if I caught a bad In-N-Out. I think my first one was in Irvine, California. And then I went to a different one just to see if I caught a bad one. And it was pretty much the same experience. Good burger. But I wasn't, like, just blown away by it.
Was the first In-N-Out you and I together?
Yeah, Rockstar
of
would
course
love
it
that if he were
was.
here, yes. We were out, it was Alabama and Texas at the Rose Bowl. And I'd always heard about In-N-Out, so I decided, well, I'm going to go try In-N-Out.
Yeah. So for me, Chicago-style pizza is overrated. I'm not a fan. I've had, I think, the best at Pequod's in Chicago. You guys have your favorite. But if I had my choice of eating our friends at Slice or Chicago-style pizza, I'd much rather have a thin crust with a variety of different flavors than that deep, heavy, have to wait a freaking 45 minutes to an hour
and
after
that's
you
the
order it.
problem is you're starving, and that thing is so heavy.
Fork and knife, too, man, and that cheese. It's
But
a
I
mess
only go
to
to
eat.
Chicago about once a year on average.
Yeah.
So when I'm there, I want to have it. Like, let's just say Slice had both available. I probably would eat the deep dish once a year.
Yeah, but there is not another place in the world other than when I'm in Chicago would I order that. Would I try to get that? I will get it in Chicago like you. I will experience it because it's Chicago. But I wouldn't sit here if they opened one here in Birmingham. In fact, they did, and I never went in there to order the Chicago-style pizza.
I did once or twice.
Yeah, I just don't want that kind of pizza.
Actually, I would go in there and get their other pizza. I thought it was much better than their Chicago style. But, you know, people have it shipped to them here or anywhere, really. And that's how dedicated people are to it. I would take another spin on that. That Chicago hot dog, the Chicago-style hot dog, to me is way overrated.
Come on, Brown.
Oh, it's got all that stuff on it. It's got that green pepper on there.
Oh, I like it.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
Love it.
I've just never really liked it.
I'll tell you another
There's too
thing
much going on.
that is overhyped, and I've only been there 3 times now, is Miami.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan either.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Miami scares me. I'll be honest.
You know, Dunaway and I.
It's an interesting city. I mean, it's got great culture.
If I can stay on South Beach only.
Yeah, but the
I'm more
problem with
comfortable.
South Beach is outside of the Fountain Blue, and I have had the opportunity to stay there one time, but the other couple of times we've stayed there, it's like every place is a shithole. It's like there's sand in the bed, they're kind of leaning.
But you know, it's weird. You cross a certain line in South Beach where it's the newer area, like down at the Clevelander where we stayed that one time. Everything looks like it's like 1960s pastels and all that. You get a little further north up there, and it gets better. It gets newer, but that's up where the Fountain Blue is, what that you're talking about.
I just, I don't know. Miami is so crowded, and it's really a smaller city. You know, you can go to the outskirts of Fort Lauderdale and where your Hard Rock Stadium is and stuff.
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Miami was going to be, Vegas again.
So we had a funny
Not a fan
experience.
either.
Yeah, it was after Alabama played Oklahoma in the semifinals.
I went home early, remember?
I do.
On New Year's Eve, I was like, I'm out of here.
We had a flight the next morning after that game, And we got back to the Clevelanders so late, it was like, it's going to be counterproductive to sleep. I'm afraid I'll sleep through my alarm and miss my flight. So we found this breakfast joint that was just down the block. And we go in, and it's us and one other table. And I promise you, I'm curious if Dunaway remembers, it was some sort of organized crime leader sitting at the other table, because he was a big guy and had a really good-looking woman next to him, young woman next to him, scantily clad. And there was another guy sitting at the table, and he kept falling asleep, and the guy was yelling. It was like, "Hey, wake up and eat your food. Wake up and eat your food." And, I mean, he's just sitting. He's got the mafia booth. He's in the back booth with his back to the wall.
Why don't you go throw a drink in his face?
I mean, I wasn't going to do anything. But don't you agree? He was some sort of organized crime. And when it came time to leave, a SUV pulled up. And he gets up and starts walking out. It's like a blacked out Suburban, tinted windows and everything.
Driver gets out and opens the door.
Driver gets out and opens the door, and his lady gets in, and he gets in. Driver closes the door and peels off.
So that was New Year's Eve?
I can't remember when that game was played.
Yeah, Oklahoma, Alabama, because the most memorable thing about that, it was the day I got home back to Birmingham from Miami, my first day of Lady Bird.
Oh, wow.
Her gotcha date was the 28th, but I didn't get to meet her till the 31st.
Yeah, so I guess that was New Year's Eve. There was no doubt in my mind that guy was organized crime.
Same trip, I got to see the Boomer Schooner. Also overrated.
Yep, also overrated by you.
Smaller than you think on television.
Did you agree it was overrated?
I agree with Dunaway. It was small. I had not built it up to any grandiose thing in my mind, but Dunaway is right. Watching it on TV, I thought it was bigger.
Yeah, and one more, just because we're talking college football, South Bend, really overrated. I mean,
That's a dump of a stadium, I've heard.
Notre Dame Stadium is not nice. The sun never shines
It doesn't
there.
look like it.
There's not a lot of good-looking girls to tailgate with.
Yeah.
I thought Notre Dame was really, really overrated.
Rose Bowl meets expectations for me, though.
You know, but I
everything
tell you
I ever
what, you
dreamed
talk to a lot of fans, though. They say the in-stadium experience is not great.
So you guys didn't do in-stadium. I've
Yeah.
done in-stadium there multiple times, and
I've heard it's a dump.
in-stadium's okay.
I will admit, though, pulling up to it for the first time and then the sunsetting on the San Gabriels is not overrated. It is a beautiful moment in time. The stadium itself is basically Legion Field in Pasadena.
Yeah, but, you know, I'm there for that neon Rose Bowl sign.
That's
there
cool.
for the view in the sunset.
That's cool.
And then like the LA Coliseum, when I went, it was a dump. They've remodeled it since, and I mean, it's probably still sort of a dump.
It was still a dump when I went out there.
But just to see that thing I'd seen forever, I mean, I could sit,
the history, that was what I respected about Notre Dame,
Yeah.
respected about the LA Coliseum. Again, I think Fenway Park is one of the most overrated sports venues out there. Wrigley Field lives
Wrigley
up
is
to the
not,
hype,
yeah.
But Fenway is kind of dirty.
I've never been to a game at Fenway. I paid $10, went inside, took a look at the wall, liked it, did not disappoint me.
Oh, there we go. We found one.
Yeah, did not disappoint
Jim
me.
likes the Pacific Ocean and the Green Monster.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, it was a green monster. It was impressive as heck to me.
All right, that is the Mystery Fifth Hour. It's presented by McCurry Van and Car Rental. If you need a car, van, or truck, you rent from McCurry Van and Car Rental, the local rental company you can depend on. All kinds of vehicles to choose from, trucks, SUVs, passenger vans. They make it easy to rent, get you in and out fast. Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. Call and reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com. That's McCurryRentals.com. Make sure to give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel here, please do that. And set your alerts so you know when we're live. We're live every day, 9 to 1. And you can follow us on social media, at all social media, at Next Round Live, at Next Round Live. Thank you for joining us for the Mystery Fifth Hour presented by McCurry Van and Car Rental.